The Whispering Mirror. Tucked away in the attic of an old Victorian mansion, there stood a mirror unlike any other. Its surface was tarnished with age, and its ornate frame seemed to whisper secrets from a forgotten past. Those who dared to gaze into its depths would see twisted reflections staring back at them, their voices echoing with sinister laughter. Some claimed to have seen ghostly figures lurking behind them in the glass, reaching out with spectral hands to drag them into the mirror's dark embrace. The Lonely Doll. In the attic of an abandoned farmhouse, a single doll sat upon a dusty shelf, its porcelain face frozen in an eternal smile. But as night fell and the moonlight crept through the cracked window panes, the doll's smile twisted into a sinister grin. Its glassy eyes followed the movements of anyone who dared to enter the attic, and those who lingered too long would feel its tiny fingers wrap around their throat, squeezing tighter and tighter until they could no longer breathe. The Shadowy Figure. Every night as the clock struck midnight, a shadowy figure would materialize in the corner of Sarah's bedroom. Its form was indistinct, flickering like a candle in the wind, but its eyes burned with a malevolent light that chilled her to the bone. She tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips as the figure crept closer, its outstretched hand reaching for her throat. Just as it seemed she would be consumed by darkness, the first light of dawn pierced the room, banishing the shadow back to whatever unholy realm it had come from. The Cursed Painting. Hanging in the grand ballroom of the old Wentworth Manor, there hung a painting that was said to be cursed. The figures depicted within its gilded frame seemed to move of their own accord, their twisted forms contorting into grotesque shapes, as if trapped in an eternal dance of torment. Those who stared too long at the painting would feel a sense of dread creeping over them, as if the very air had grown thick with malice. Some claim to have seen the figures step out of the canvas and into the real world, their eyes burning with unholy fire as they prowled the halls of the manor in search of fresh victims. The Haunted Playground. Deep in the heart of Greenwood Park, there stood an old playground that had long been abandoned by the living. But as night fell and the moon rose high in the sky, the playground came alive with the sound of ghostly laughter and the creaking of rusted swings. Those who dared to venture too close would feel icy fingers brush against their skin, and if they listened closely, they could hear the whispers of lost children carried on the wind. Some said that the spirits of those who had died in the park still lingered there, trapped in a limbo between this world and the next.